And we are back. I'm Rashad McCanson. Welcome to the Transition Podcast, Man to God. And we have another blazing episode with one of my personal special guests from North Carolina. I've known this man 23 years now. And, when we talk about balling, hooping, we talking about legends. We talking about guys who've been through the trenches. We talking about real legacy. Cam Bennerman. The people who know that name, hear that name, know what's going on. NC State legend, number 13, international presence, NBA presence. Man, everybody knows him. Philanthropy, business mind, intellectual. I'm grateful to have my man, Mr. Cam Bennerman. Thank you for coming on, bro.
Man, thank you for having me, dude. Thank you for the invite.
Man. Today, man, we're going to be talking about a little bit of everything for everybody that's listening. And, for those who don't know, Cam, like I said, is an intellectual, man. He dabbles in a lot of different things. So we're going to be touching on everything from education to family, manhood. And he also is the author of a book called The Process. And it's a whole project behind it. It's a complex theory, philosophy, a whole breakdown behind that. We're going to get into that a little bit later. But, for starters, let's talk about who you are, man, and the breakdown from, North Carolina, AAU back when we was playing, man, and the journey, man, getting into college and education and how you feel about the landscape right now, what's really going on, what should be important and should be, talked about most right now.
Right. Well, look, I appreciate everything, the relationship, the energy, most importantly, the genuine positive energy, the camaraderie, um, the boost. We talk weekly. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate your energy, dude. I know that you've been through the trenches yourself. You're battle tested, so it's only right for us to to reunite how we have, and I just really appreciate how we're going forward. And creatively with this podcast and some other things we have in store in the future. So I'm just excited to be here, Rashad. I really appreciate it, man. To answer your question, I mean, I've always had like really like looking back as a kid, and my mom can attest as well. I've always had this knack for journalism. I've always had this very creative, kitty like perspective to everything. I that may be more or less my dad, kind of like with his creative, kind of like how he approaches things. I think my mom's a little bit more serious, but I've always kind of had that. So no matter what I've been doing, no matter how serious it was, no matter what was going on, how competitive it is, I've always had that narrative, that narrator type voice to it. So
Mm-hmm.
soccer was my first sport, and you get involved with that. I'm the only black kid, so you see, I'm saying you have to deal. You're dealing with it, but you don't know you're dealing with it. But you're dealing with it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Now you're standing out for your athleticism. Okay, now starts this process of he could be something. We don't know what. This coach knows that coach. He has a fall team basketball plays that. And then after a while, it just begins. And I
Yeah.
think it's kind of similar to me and you talked about that. It's kind of similar with you. You said Cam. I don't want to speak for you, but yeah, you told me you said it just happened, like
Yep. Yep.
and
Farm
and
system.
that right, just and especially and where we're from in North Carolina, man. Look, we're right here in the thick of things, man. As
Mm-hmm.
a state, and then where you're from, just a couple hours away from Tobacco Road. I mean, everybody, and it's Carolina ties there with Buzz and everything. I mean, it's everybody knows everybody. Everybody's tied in. So yeah, so that's kind of like in a nutshell. That's just my journey, Rashad. And then Greensboro. I'm from Greensboro. Went to Gramsley for 3 years. Went to Hargrave Military for my senior year. Me and you clashed there. I think you and West, you guys were on the same team.
Yep. Yep.
And that was a fun game. And then we ended up, seeing each other for the next couple of years in college. With UNC and NC State. So, and then from there, you guys won the championship in '05. You guys left. I stuck around another year or two, and one more year. I left in '06, and then from there overseas, and it just kind of started this whole journey. Again, I always had this narrative type voice. I can honestly say, Rashad, and it may be crazy to say, but when I really think about it and analyze, I never really like that voice never really like screamed to me NBA. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
It screamed experience. It screamed get up out of Greensboro,
Yeah.
fool, and
Yeah.
see
Yeah.
something else.
Adventure, man. Go on a journey, man.
Man, that's what it screamed. And it just screamed. I see everybody else what they doing, going right. I'm going left. Like, yeah, like that's been the only way I've ever been able to show my worth is strategically going against the grain. I know you can dig that. So, you know, that's just always been my thing, So it's got me here, and here we are, man.
Man, so talk about, the landscape of college, the NIL, but the most important aspect, the education. What do you see, and what are you are doing or thinking about putting together as far as education is concerned?
I think when and that's a very deep rabbit hole to jump down. When we talk about education or any topic, for that matter, we got to talk about inspiration. You got to be inspired to do what you're doing, and then that has to be followed up to just you got, I guess, identity. You got to. I'm big on the why. I'm not a specialist. I'm a strategist. I've
Mm-hmm.
moved up the
Mm-hmm.
ladder, Rashad, here lately, man. I've expanded my horizons mentally. I know people. I've been places. I'm very good at strategizing. I need to know why. I need to know why
Mm-hmm.
we're doing this. I need to know why at all. You know what I'm saying? Because we can be doing many different things, but why this? And
Mm-hmm.
what we're doing here is we're informing, we're educating, we're inspiring, we're motivating. That's what we're doing. And as long as those ingredients involved, I'm all for it. Not to mention basketball. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna be there. So I've narrowed it down to this. Uh, this is the purpose of education. It has to do this. If it's not doing this, it's pointless. I went back to school. We went there. We're 0206. I left. You know how I go. The process starts immediately. You're up in
Mm-hmm.
Chicago. You're up somewhere. And you just grinding in the
Yep.
gym. You're working out.
Yep.
I went back to school in 2017. I had 3 classes in internship. And by that time, I mean, I had a gang of experience, but I had a bigger why. My why was really like highlighted when I was in class. And now I have all this experience, and now I'm like learning the proper terminology to what I felt or to what happened or whatever. Now it's a purpose to it. It's purposeful. When we were in school, man, we there for basketball, man. That's the bottom line. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? And we ain't know, but the conversation ain't being had. And I'm going to talk about blackness, especially in the black household. We ain't talking about scholarships, at least a certain percentile, the older majority. We ain't talking about what you want to do, what you want to be outside of bouncing the ball or maybe picking up a mic.
But why is that? Why are we not having those conversations?
Cultural icon. It's a cultural icon. Is what we've been allowed and boxed in to see on TV, on social media, with the movies, with the shows. If we're not bouncing the ball, if we're not with the females, if we're not kind of looking how they're looking nowadays or doing what they're doing nowadays, if we're not like how they're projecting us to be, if we're not that, what I'm saying? If you can't see it, Rashad, you can't be it, brother. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it gets to. I'm a firm believer. If I
Here's
once I
what
get it,
here's what they
go
always
ahead.
say to me, Cam. They always say to me, "All right, you had the opportunity to be educated when you were in school, and you decided to go to school for athletics." And every athlete gonna say what we just said. Like, yeah, man, we know we're here to hoop. We're here to hoop, but we have the opportunity to be here for the academia.
But we don't have the time, right?
We
Now
don't
we don't
have
have
the
the
time, but there's
right,
still a choice that they always throw as we're just playing devil's advocate, but you did have an option, right?
right.
And it's like, did
Now
we?
you now you're just fucking with kids' minds, and I just can't stand that. That's what
Yeah,
happens.
and look,
Right.
isn't that a part of the whole strategy? Is the fact that they kind of mind fuck you with the option,
Oh yeah.
knowing that you're here for this, but giving you an option, but not really giving you the option.
Right.
saying, you know, if you focus on this, then you're gonna have time for this, and we here for this.
Right. Right. I think about it often. Remember, I know they used to say at the state, yeah, you come on, like military words like boot camp or come on, you coming on in the service. They used to use some kind of words, like some kind of terminology, and it was every bit of that, you know. And I remember all them papers we had to sign. Like,
Yep, yep.
there was a lot of paperwork too. It's like, damn, is it this detail, man? It's like there's a lot that goes into it, man. That's why this whole NIL thing and everything is such a marvelous thing. And I really suggest that universities really get their shit together, because they're gonna miss out. And at the same time, I'm encouraging the players to go ahead and put the pedal to the metal.
But look, hold on. We got to talk about the real elephant in the room when it comes to the NIL, though. And I always
Okay.
be back to this, right? Because when it happened, I said we open Pandora's box without leading with what needs to be in front.
Gotcha.
Education.
Yes, yes.
We do not lead. This whole NIL is not being led by the education of what to do with the money when you get it.
Right.
Now everyone's being pushed to relationships, resources, and funding. Funding.
Okay, you don't make me shift my gear. All right, I'm with you.
Now the NIL is not focused on the education at all. Even if the
Right.
universities were trying to shift the focus while the students were still there to say, all right, let's start giving them some type of economical courses that they can start taking so they'll be prepared. I felt like it was a couple universities leading towards that, right? But now they done open the Pandora's box, and it's like, well, look, we need to figure out how to get this kid the most amount of money possible so he can even consider coming here, because that's
Wow.
who we're going against.
Okay.
It's a bidding war now.
Wow. I never really looked at it like that. And I'm happy that I'm not, because if I looked at it that way, it's only because I've lacked the experience and the know how and the truth that we know. You know what I'm saying? Like we know better than that. We know that it's about that. We already made the money. We already blew enough. We already spent enough. Like, we already did all of that, man. Like, what I'm saying? We already made the mistakes. Blah, blah, blah. Bounce back couple times.
Mm-hmm.
Everything's here we are, big dogs now, right? So we sitting back looking at the landscape right now, and we know better because we've been through it all. Like, it's those people that don't know that's
But just
implementing these kind
imagine
of
that, though.
guidelines and policies.
Imagine that, Cam. You
Mm-hmm.
and us in college being able to become thousandaires, millionaires before we even hit the
Besides,
league.
bro. I say this out the bro. Like, I probably honestly could have probably got some millions in college. Like, if I had combined with the creativity, absolutely. But bro, y'all fools, man, listen, man, y'all want, man, listen. Cats are going. You don't have to go pro now, bro. You ain't pro.
But what's the vision? I'm painting a picture here. The picture is, if we had NIL when we was in school,
Mm-hmm.
we would have also been the type of guys trying to look for the courses that's gonna help us build. At least I know that's me.
Mm-hmm.
If
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna have bread, I'm trying to figure out how to buy some stuff.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Some. Especially if somebody can tell me, if we got some positive, like, role models saying, look, we're gonna go get some land over here. We're gonna buy some businesses here while I'm in college.
I and not to get too deep into specifics, I think just you guys have more of a brotherhood in that element, to where the alumni is more intact. Nothing's
Talking about
perfect.
I'm talking about I'm talking about for all the college, when
Yeah,
all the
yeah,
universities have that type of the understanding of, like, coursework and how to
man.
triple your
Hey,
money while
I
you're in
hate to
school, instead
right,
of, you taking advantage of your NIL, getting money on the side, right? So
right,
if you're getting that money on the side, you're gonna need to be taking these courses to what to do with that money while you're playing, being able to
right,
manage
right, right,
playing.
right,
It ain't even about, like, the other courses, the general courses that you would have to take. They would have to
right.
change all that. Now we're here for a different reason.
I agree. I agree. I totally agree with what you're saying and what you where you're hitting towards. This has to be the train of thought. You know what I mean? Like, it has to be mandates. I should say every Jordan pair of shoes you buy needs to come with a damn DVD. You need to know something about that. You know what I'm saying? It's getting to a point to where people are just investing. At this point, they got some. every Jordan that come out now need to come with a playground or something
or
to where you
autograph,
actually,
or
yeah,
autograph.
you got to know something about the man. You know what I mean? Before you just keep investing all these investment points, and it's like that's cool, but how much? Like, what do you really like? You know, where's the connection? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I totally agree with what you're saying. It needs to be that serious, man, because that much money is being made, that much percentage, whatever the percentage of the pie is being split. There is some response. There needs to be some responsibility and some accountability. You want good alumni out there that's making good decisions, good, you know, whatever they doing, you know, to keep it going. You know what I mean? And that should matter. That should matter.
Yeah.
But for some people, it don't, and it's crazy. You know.
So what about when it comes down to family? How much does that play a part? In not only just school and the kids nowadays, but how you view family. Like, what's your take on how important that is? Just in moving and forward in the journey.
Man, you know, parents get out the way. Parents, step parents, step parents, wives, husbands, divorced parents who have remarried situations and new kid. Control your situation. If you got a son or a daughter that is special. Even if listen, everybody's born with potential to be something now. That's for sure. I'm a firm believer that we all have potential. That's the thing about it. Now, if somebody actually got that do it fluid to get up and try to do something, that's something else. Because a lot of people don't have that.
What
That's
you
something
call
else.
it? What you
That's
call
that
it?
do it fluid, man. You
I
gotta
like
try,
that.
Rashad.
I
Yeah, you gotta
like that.
try.
I like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, you got to try. And I just, you know, and it's funny when we talk about trying, it's always family that be want to critique you so hard for trying. You know what I'm
Man.
saying? Why I got to catch what I'm trying? Why I got to feel emotionally some kind of way or whatever? Why I got to deal with something because I'm trying and I'm sacrificing something. I know you didn't do it. I know it didn't happen for you. I know that nobody believed in you. I know all of that stuff, but that ain't the case for me.
Mm, that's
You know
called
what I mean?
courage. It's called having courage.
Thank you. It's being courageous. And I'm sorry that you weren't that in your heyday. You had your opportunity. You didn't do it. You're in the factory. That ain't my
Yep.
fault.
Yep. They try to
You
push
know what I'm
that
saying?
generational curse on you with that. If you too courageous, you're too much.
Right. So you mentioned the word family now. I'm triggered. Right. This is the stuff that comes to my mind when I hear family. Even though I'm also warm and loved by that my parents were divorced. I've always like as long as you've known me, Rashad, my parents were divorced. So,
Right,
you
right,
know what I'm
right,
saying? But
right.
ain't never been. Me and Coach Keys had a conversation last night, and I had to share a picture out of my book, man. I think I'm gonna just send it to you after the joint, so you can like see it. Just how I can't say if it's genuine or not. I don't give a shit. But what I do know is what in that picture I knew that them people held it together long enough to not have no damn risk, even up until this day, not to get in the way, not to be, you know, my pastor, let me calm down. My pastor gave the best example one sermon. Pastor Brian Pierce of Greensboro, North Carolina, Mount Zion Baptist Church. And he gave an awesome example one time. He in church, he said, yeah, you guys ever been on the plane and you know, you trying to take off and all of a sudden you just stuck on the runway for an hour
Mm.
and or two, and you just don't know what's going on. And then when you finally get to you get up there, you see that there's two airplanes that just was in the way. He said, parents like it could be God knows what. Maybe they crash into each other. He said, parents, don't be those planes on your kids' runway. It's trying to take off. I said, oh wait. Because you know
Mm.
I'm real like you know how you creative too, man. You know I got the visual, and I was like,
Right,
wow,
right.
I take off. Like it could be a dunk. You know, you're trying to take off or a dunk. You can't get that. You know, just people just in your way, just from your takeoff of your plan or from your idea from your project. It's just I hate it when parents get in the way, man. And these are the things I think of with family in the basketball context. But as far as my family, it's just love, it's care, it's support system, it's everything. There's no way I could have made it this far without at least my immediate family. That's for sure. My mother and father. That's for damn sure. Now I can't account for nobody else. But my mom and dad, man, I wouldn't be a damn thing. Yeah, without them, without neither one of them. for
Right.
sure.
No, for sure, bro. For sure. What led to going to Hargrave, man? What made that decision, man? Because me going to New Hampton, it was an actual boarding school, and I remember having the option really to kind of go to Oak Hill and maybe Hargrave, but I didn't
Ooh,
know
you
much
at
about
Oak
it. And then there was
Hill.
like Fort Union, you know what I'm saying? Fort Union, they were both military schools.
I'm glad you didn't go to Oak Hill. Lord have mercy.
And
Mello was there.
yeah. No.
Mello, Jay
It was
Gray.
way that was way before Mello. It was way before Mello.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. I left at 15 years old when I left.
Oh boy.
So it was like my junior and senior year I was there.
Okay.
So but what led you to Hargrave, man? What made you go there?
Miss Teague, another mother figure. Miss Teague, she was the principal of Grimsley High School, but she was the principal of my elementary school. And I remember I went to a Page Grimsley game. I did my own little like recruiting. Me and my dad. I just refused to go to Dudley, man. It just wasn't it. Dudley High School. No disrespect to Dudley, but the guys they had on that team was just we always competed against each other. It just didn't make sense us teaming up. It just didn't make sense. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, um, I saw Miss Teague at the game. I'm like, huh? She was the principal. We started connecting dots. Boom. So it got to a point, Rashad, like I was never a bad student. Didn't have bad grades, but she just wanted to make sure I got my SAT. She didn't want no setbacks for me. She
Right.
wanted to make sure I got my SAT, make sure everything was on track. I can't say she just presented the idea. She said, no, you're going to Hargrave. And then, yeah, Coach Walton had no say so when we had a meeting. It was like, yeah, this is the plan. And it was kind of like that. Like it was when she said it was happening, it was going to happen. Like,
Man,
but dig it though. But Coach Keats was the coach at Hargrave.
really?
And he came to the crib. We just talked about this last night. He came to the crib and did his own recruit. Yes. And he sat
Really?
down, yes, on 2017. And he came over there
Was
and
you
me and him,
was you big in the ranking in the high school,
yeah, man,
nigga?
I was as high as 23rd in the country.
There
Like
you
when I
go.
first, Rashad, I
So
only played in
he had to come get you.
yeah, I only played in 3 tournaments, dude. Like when I hit it, boom, boom, boom. And it was like boom. And then after that, like it was like, okay, prove my point. It did this every summer for ABCD. I had a broke hand. I broke my hand 3 summers in a row. I never made it. I was invited every time. Every time it was time to go, broke my freaking hand.
Man.
Every time. Yeah, it was
So
crazy. So, these things happen. No big deal. But
were
as high
you
as
in
23rd, yeah,
were you in public school or like
public school,
county school?
public in the city. Yeah, city school. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
man. So it was fun. Yeah, it was very heated rivalries. It was fun. Um, and yeah, I went to Hargrave. That was an experience. Happy I did. Good memories.
Miss Teague, was she black lady?
Miss T was white. Yeah, Miss
Okay.
T was a white lady. Yeah,
Man, stuck her neck out there for you.
yeah. I was in Page's district, and but at that time, like all this like redistricting and like these players coming from one side of town, like this is at all time high right now. It's almost like college and high school athletics now, man. Like that, yeah, these programs are really trying to get the proper personnel into their program that can attract who they want to come. It's
Right.
fair game. It's fair
Right.
game. You gotta be, the terminology. You gotta watch your mouth. But what you say, it's recruiting or advertising, whatever you want to say. But like, yeah, you gotta do what you gotta do. But yeah, it's happening, dog. It's happening. Mm-hmm.
I mean, is it an advantage? Like we see what happened with Dion, right?
Man.
Would that be considered tampering if we wasn't in this state, if we wasn't in the state of culture we're in today, and everyone was looking at the color, and we wasn't just really honestly looking at talent and skill and prestige and abiding by the rules? I guess you could say that.
What did Dion do? Like, what do we know
They
that he
say
did?
they say. I mean, just on the books, they're saying that the kid was already going to Florida State, and I guess he decommitted and then went to Jackson after he talked to Dion. or something like that.
You know how business is, man. You never know, man. Dion is, like I said, he's arguably the greatest, NFL, player. If you're talking about offense, defense, like both sides of the football, special teams. I mean, the
They
dude's
accusing
amazing.
him. They're accusing him of the NIL and being able to pay the kid,
Possibly. I mean, he's playing. He's playing by the rules. I
and
tell
that's
you
what
that
he's
much.
saying. And that's what he's saying. He was like, "You guys are just mad, and I'm kicking your butt at your own game now."
Absolutely. And you know
Yeah.
good well he's being coached by the good old boys of Florida State. He's the best boy. So you know good well they're making sure Deion. Of course, if he says something crazy, he gonna get slapped on the ass. Whatever he gonna get slapped. But he ain't never made that mistake. He don't drink, he don't smoke, he don't do none of that crap. He just stayed true to the process. You know what I'm saying? He's prime. You know what I mean? Yeah. And it's just I just think it's ironic that he decommitted from the school to go to the coach. He played there. Like it's a he's
Yeah,
still in the he's still in the pipeline. Right.
yeah, that's the point. It's like, hey, Florida State should have hired Dion for the job, and Dion could have kept the kid there.
Shoot, if I was these major institutions, I would send all as many of as many of our Deion Sanders out into the field and get that job, and let's create that pipeline. You know what I'm saying? And let's get a piece of that check. Yeah,
So,
why not?
so what happens when the HBCUs start to become powerhouses? Like, how does the landscape look when we
More
talking
money. They
about?
need money, Rashad. They need money. They need
No,
infrastructure. That's what.
the money gonna pour in because if you think about, what's happening with current politics, they got grants and loans for, you know, black people, minorities, HBCUs, the whole nine is gonna come in. It's gonna come in pouring in. So it's just about positioning at this point. And if these kids start to show promise in going to these universities, the alumni money gonna have to come back, or at least the donorship. You can become a donor at the university and
Mm-hmm.
still get your tax benefits from
Mm-hmm.
those donations. So it does increase the value of the HBCU market.
I think it goes back to what you said not too long ago about the education. When you talk about education, you got to talk about infrastructure. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? What like okay, the money's gonna pour in, like you say, but niggas, hey, what are we doing with the money? I'm hearing stories about some of our HBCUs. The coaches are stealing up a dime.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's ridiculous. It's like it's like hood tactics in college basketball. You're like it's
Mm-hmm.
weird. Like so, my thing is um, yeah, it's a lot of things. Too much is given, much is required. If this money start pouring in, yeah, we need better facilities, we need better equipment, we need help, we need more facilities, we need more land. Like a lot of things are gonna have to change to really withstand a Rashad McCants coming to your program and having more come in. You got to have a lot to offer that kid, plus a Raymond Feltman, plus a Sean. You got to have these resources if you want that. You know what I mean? You got to have it.
I
You got the
mean,
money, but you got to have the infrastructure. Is what I'm saying. You know.
when you really think about it, though, let's think about it though. What did we really want when we got to college? We really just wanted to be seen on national TV. We wanted to be around girls. The campus to be nice, and be able to go to practice and go to the gym when we wanted to, and hopefully the gym's nice. You want to go
Right.
to a nice gym with a nice weight room,
Right.
jacuzzi, nice, nice locker room, nice little lobby area. Got
Mm-hmm.
nice coaches.
Right.
Girls are decent. They ain't got to be gorgeous. They decent. They decent, man. Teammates, everybody's cool, man. Everybody, if you're a hooper, that's a dream life. It just everyone's cool. Everything is solid. You ain't asking. You don't need to be getting paid under the table. It ain't about
Right.
nothing. Especially if you good, you want to go prove that you the best. It
Right.
ain't never about that other stuff because that's coming from background. Then we talk about family, we talk about upbringing, talking about where you from. This is what's
Right.
on your mind. You a hustler. You just trying
Mm-hmm.
to take.
Yeah.
Some like guys like me. I was a sponge. I wasn't in on the taking. I was in on trying to be the greatest. So
Right.
that took information I needed to soak in. and people I needed to watch and really like, see what they was doing and incorporate that stuff they was good at, and that's what I was about. So it's always different aspects of it all, man. But how it goes.
That's interesting you say that, because I'm thinking about my time there, and while I got a split screen in my mind. You're doing that, you're the sponge. Hell, I don't know what the hell I was at school. When I was at school, man, when I was at NC State, it was half the time I was there was just trying to find an identity. You know what I'm saying? Because coach stripped us all of it. You know what I'm saying? Hell, we got uniforms with no last name on them. Like, like he used to do like again, it really Indian the Hoosier culture at State. You know what I mean? And that's nothing wrong with it. I mean, it's a successful way, but it's like it was a cultural clash. You know what I'm saying? Because we have our class is really, we ushered in, man, all this young gunning stuff. We was the first ones to do all this high flying, running good. It was us, you know.
Yep.
And you can look at everybody in our roster and see JJ to everybody. Like we was on it from the 3-point shooting, everything. Yep. So I was just trying to find an identity. And I spent 2 years trying to do that. And then my junior year, that's when things started to change. And you begin to be inspired. You start to just, become that sponge. Like you said, you start to just really hone in on trying to be the best, and when you're really trying to be the best, your actions change, your train of thought is what it is. I definitely could have been more of that, but I was just really in search of just why I was there, and what my role was and what's going on. It was a lot of craziness going on when I was a lot of psychological shit going on. Coach, let's just cut to the chase. One thing that coach used to do that I didn't like, and I hope it's not happening in other universities, but I know it probably is. When we talk about team,
right?
We talk about synergy. We talk about this keyword brotherhood that Duke is branding right now, and you can't hate them for doing it because they got a lot of guys that's in the freaking NBA right now. They got a lot of guys that's out there. You know what I'm saying? They do. And I mean, when I look at the picture, I'm like, damn. So it's like when we talk about brotherhood, man. And Gavin Grant, he's a buddy of mine.
I remember Gavin.
Yep. And you guys are very similar to me. You guys are very tough guys, and you guys remind me a lot of each other. And me and Gavin argue when we just bangs popping out of our neck, and because he's from Bronx, he's just because New York, he gets crazy. And we never would hurt each other. You know what I'm saying? No, it never. But we just get at each other like that. Talk about brotherhood. I said, Gav, one thing that I didn't like that coach did, he used to put us against each other, man. Like we were two fucking pit bulls. We're on the same team. Yes, I want to be the best, absolutely. But I'm not going to hurt you, brother. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to have opportunity to put my foot under you so you can twist your ankle, or some old, I don't know, man, like some old undermining stuff. I'm not the one to do that. I don't do that. You know what I'm saying? I don't feel like brotherhood, synergy, teamwork require. It's an energy field. It's an energy thing that I just don't see that's conclusive to those words. You know what I'm saying? Right. And coach used to do that all the time. He used to put us against each other and make us feel like he was in the way, or he's the enemy, as to he's in the way of me getting, and that wasn't the case, man.
Right.
That never was the case. Everybody's different. Every player is different. You got something to bring to the table. It's more of a Goonie type, man. The Goonies, how everybody's like playing a part. It's more like that kind of energy. Everybody's there. Everybody got their own personality. Hey, you guys, like everybody's like different. And it's more of a Goonie approach that I like. Is team like that, as opposed to like feeling like you trying to take mine. I feel like that. I'm an insecure guy if I feel that way. Right. You know what I mean? You never struck me as that. There's a lot of guys that never struck me like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, because if you did, if I did, we probably, we wouldn't connect like how we do.
Right.
We're very, and that's what goes back to this manly thing we talked about also, just what it means to be a man, or whatever. I don't know if you want to go there or not, but it's just, you got to be secure about yourself and about the things that you're doing and have done. You know what I'm saying? And
Mm-hmm.
it's important. It's important to feel that way. You know about yourself.
No, for sure, bro. So when we talk about even that, we go into the manhood, the manliness, and all that, and masculine. Just talking about the process, your book. And a lot of times, on the podcast, we talk about the transition, the transformation, and the transcendence, and the mentality you got to have for all three of these different processes, right? And so when it comes to being a man and having thick skin, with different things that come at you during your process, into transforming into a whole new beast or
Mm-hmm.
being or man, and being able to transcend through any adversities that come at you, being able to be aware and transparent through anything that's trying to destroy you or bring you down. And so, for you in your book, man, talk about what it was like for you to transition, man, from
Mm-hmm.
the days, at state, man, and then going overseas for
Mm-hmm.
years, chasing that dream, and then ultimately having to reflect on, okay, now what? What are we doing
Right.
now?
Right.
Am I
Right.
ready to do something else? Can I look back and let this thing go and transition into something else that I love or have interest in?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. First, yeah, I think being that's one of the first things we kind of like touched on. Yeah, I think it embodies all of this. I think yeah, this is as you grow and older, mature, age, this and that, whatever you are, man, woman, or whatever you associate or class yourself as being, you have to mature in your own being, and that's what we talk about. You got to handle yours. So when we talk about the process, man, I mean that's all we're talking about, right? We just talking about, I think too many people are looking left and looking right at everybody else's game. Nobody else, the score. You counting the score of somebody else's game. It's just a waste of it's just not conclusive to anything that has to do with you and your goals. Unless you're in the PR and marketing or something like, I don't know, you got clients or something, you're an agent or something like that, you got, but I just don't think that when we talk about the word process, man, like we talk about just staying focused on you, your goals. You got to have goals. You got to know what, goals create boundaries. Goals create boundaries. You just don't say, I'm going to New York and you get on I-95 South. That's the wrong direction. It's just not conclusive. You know what I'm saying? You're already going in the wrong direction. So it takes time, energy. You see people in the grocery store. You got people that got a list, they're in and out. You got some people that go to the same grocery store, they're even more efficient. You got some people that they ain't got a list at all. They touching everything on all the aisles. You got some people that's on the phone, and it's and then everybody's way, who's
Right.
trying to. So just having those goals, man, it gives you a boundary, at least you some kind of direction, and then all the hardship and all the ups and downs and all the stuff that you go through on your journey to being that or doing that is your process, and that's what you have to endure, and that's what you attribute it to. you know
Right.
if you can emotionally, mentally withstand it. If you can't, that's a sign you need to do something else.
What
You know
was
what I'm saying?
what was your turning point though? What was your transitional point in your life where you said, it's time to turn right here
You talking about to basketball or from basketball?
from basketball.
From, well, to be honest with you, I know you're like, boy, please. I still got one foot in. I still got a situation. I'm still of a certain kind of weight and physique to where I can pack on weight if I need to. I'm just a few thousand shots away from getting my rhythm back, stuff like that. If I had to, if the situation called for it. But on another note, when Kobe died, dude, when Kobe died, that's when I knew a piece of me died.
Mm.
My inspiration died. You gotta understand. As a kid, I was inspired by Sean Kemp. I want. I'm a 5'3", 6'4". I'm a 5'3" power forward, fool. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like in my mind, I'm saying I got the haircut. I got the. I've always all my homies will tell you always got the haircut, always got the jersey, always got the shoes. You know, you get older, you start coming into your own. You start realizing the truth. Now all of a sudden, Penny Hardaway and Gary Payton and Michael Jordan are my inspirations. These kind of Jason Kidd, these big guards, like you know. So then things started to change, and of course, Kobe was it for me. But when he died, yeah, I mean, I remember exactly where I was, what I was doing, and that's ironically around the time when COVID was just hitting. I was in Australia. Yeah, my whole life was out there,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and that COVID came out there, and it was like Kobe left hook, then COVID undercut, boom, boom, boom. I was like, oh snap! Had to get back home. I had to get back home,
Right.
and I had to sacrifice a lot of personal things over there because of it, and I knew that it was because it was time for me to do what I'm currently doing right now, which is the redevelop this project that I came out with in 2016 called The Process, putting it in a more cooler way that can be more impactful, inspiring, motivating, educating kids, families, players who are playing, who aspire to play on the basketball process and what it takes to be successful. You know, providing that platform. That's what this new book, new project is doing, and I've been managing to get it into some high places. Right now, we're working with NC State on some stuff. I'm talking with them very diligently about some things because they need it, and it's time for it. We talk about education, we talk about NIL, we talk about all this stuff. All of this stuff is wrapped up in the process, because this is the process. We need guidance. We need alumni involved. We need OGs involved. You know what I'm saying? We need resources. We need things. And
Let me let me ask
yeah.
you this. Let me ask you this. When it comes down to your book and the process, do you think that this particular process can happen at every university? But would it have to happen within the alumni at that university? Would they have to write their own manifesto on the things they think the university, needs to fix or add or change? Like, because I see that it's such a brilliant idea. It's such a brilliant concept. It's such a brilliant addition to, any program that can listen to the alumni, the players who kind of built and shaped the program in its prestige.
Mm-hmm.
Each university would then have to go back and assess, what the other players think that can help the university, or not necessarily the university, but the program,
Mm-hmm.
the
Mm-hmm.
athletic program. What do you
Good
think about?
correction.
What do
That's
you
a
think
good
about that?
correction. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. What
That's
do
a
you
good
think about
correction.
that?
Mm-hmm. What I think, first of all, that's a great correction. You corrected yourself. Big difference, right, between a university and a program, and you know that, but a lot of people don't. They clump it all together. Um, I think the alumni just, well, I don't think so much. I kind of know, at least from in my territory, the alumni is more responsible for the kind of the spirit of things behind the scenes. They have resources and money and stuff like that for sure. But uh, the chancellor, these people who are paid big bucks to be visionaries and make decisions. Uh, Chancellor, for example, our chancellor, he graduated from Cornell and Purdue. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? This guy, I think he has like a bioscience or something like that degree. This guy is a borderline genius, and he makes us a lot of money that ain't got nothing to do with sports. You know what I'm saying? Endowments up, enrollments up. The guy's amazing. You know what I'm saying? So when we sit down and talk to him about athletics, we're talking Chinese, in a lot of instances. Of course, when he looks at his at the end results of how the university is doing, yeah, he's looking at the athletic column, but he has some kind of advisory, the AD, that's kind of helping him better understand what's going on and what the needs are. So it's kind of like it's a collective when it comes down to the decision making that I found. With that, the alumni not so much. It's more of a spirit thing, and making sure you just tap into that core of of whatever, wherever, whoever they are, and why. Because everybody got a different story. That's why I love talking about the whole blue blood and NC State thing. I love talking about it, man, because it really paints and then you got because UCLA is every bit, they're not classified as a blue blood, but John Wooden I'm sorry, UCLA isn't classified as necessarily Indiana Hoosier culture, but that's Indiana Hoosier culture. You know what I'm saying? Directly. 7 in a row, 10 total. That's tough.
Right.
So it's like, it's an interesting story. So it's a story that has to be tapped into and told. If there's nothing there, then yeah, you may have to go kind of more specific on what that coach may need, something like that. Because Baylor, for example, shit, they doing, hey, that's a well-oiled machine right now.
Well, look. Here's the real question is: do you think universities really? I mean, let's just say programs need more former players involved in order for the nowadays. We're talking about nowadays, not back when we was coming in. Like right now, 2021, with the success of certain recruiting aspects like Kentucky, Alabama. We talk about, when I say alumni, I mean former players.
Yeah, right.
Former players that have that credential aspect where you look on the wall and you say, these are the guys that went to this school. You want to be one of these guys on this wall. That's the real prestige. So when you talk about that kind of stuff, I'm like, okay, how important is it to have former players involved as alumni in any capacity, whether it's assistant coaching, player development, weightlifting, conditioning, consulting, recruiting, scouting, all that. How important do you think that kind of prestige is? Because that was what I was sold on at Carolina. Even though I recruited them, they kind of sold me on certain guys being there when I was there. That kind of was just like, okay, I'm about to go here and crush it here.
Right. I think first of all, hopefully there's not a disconnect from the university to the program. First of all, if there's a disconnect from the university to the program, that sucks. Secondly, if there's new people that's in place, new faces, new names, it ain't no sick, man. This is shit. It's a long time now. It's a new kid. Do they remember you? Is there still a connect there? There has to be a connect. So if the connect's there, now it's a matter of, I think the word that, and this is the key word here that we need right now, we need mentorship and we need intervention. That's what we're talking about. You see what I'm saying? We need more mentorship and intervention, which results in, yes, having more alumni back. You know what I'm saying? And not just alumni, but the right ones. You know what I'm saying? And also having some creativity involved and how you can use these alumni to the best of their ability and the best of their capacity, not just putting a fucking polo on and a logo saying sit right there with a clipboard and you over there playing tic-tac-toe. That ain't what we talking about. You know what I'm saying? And just to please the fans who are just got a ticket just watching to go home and talk on the damn message boards.
Right.
So it has to be purpose. Why? We got to answer that question at all times. What and why? You know what I'm saying? What are we and why are we doing this? And I think that if everything's clear with it, if everything's clear with that, maybe circle back, everything's cool. But yeah, we need alumni, we need mentorship, we need intervention. These kids are going through stuff. They're not built like how we were, Rashad. They're not mentally, spiritually, emotionally strong. You know what I'm saying? They got issues. They don't know how to channel it. You know what I mean? Like I'm looking at their bodies. I don't know if they're drinking protein or I don't know what they're drinking. I don't know what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? Their bodies their bodies looking frail. Everybody looking like reindeer, running around with dreads. You know what I'm saying? All this hair. I'm just like, man, like where's the individuality? Where's the uniqueness, man? Where's that guy? Like, I'm looking for him wherever he is, and we need mentorship and intervention in college basketball and in these universities more than ever, man, just to try to guide things in the right way, I think.
For sure, brother, for sure. So look, we're gonna go to some NBA shit. We're gonna go to the sports realm and get your opinion on a couple things before we bounce out.
Word.
I definitely want to know the one thing is going to be your top five. And then the second thing is, predictions on who you think going to win it all this year in the championship reign. And so let's start with the top five, man. And we talking position. Position top five all time.
Oh, we're going through all five positions.
I'm just saying. I just that because it speaks to me. It speaks about your knowledge and intellect of the game. People just throw five down. It's like, man, you got four big man and a small forward. Come on, man. I need the top five position. We play basketball. This is James Naismith. Let's play.
Oh Lord, yeah, because okay. So point guards, man. Top. I can't put them in order now. Don't give me that. Don't hold me.
You just doing one. You just doing your top PG, your top shooting, your top small forward.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Not five each one.
Nah. Just your top.
Oh, okay.
Just your top.
Man, point guard.
Hey, and this is this is your team. This is your AAU team. You taking out. You going to the tournament. This the team you playing with.
Yeah, man. Point guard, dog. I'm gonna have to go with like Jason Kidd or something, man. Like prime Jason Kidd, dog. We're talking about the big body 6'4" Jason Kidd, man, coming down the man. Come on, man. Got the jumper, you got everything you're looking for, man. I got to go Dallas Mavericks, J Kidd, like early Dallas Mavericks J Kidd. I'm gonna have to go with him at the point, man.
J Kidd.
I'm gonna have to go definitely Michael Jordan at the 2.
MJ at the 2.
I'm gonna have to go power forwards, man.
Small forward.
Yeah, I gotta get back to that one. I gotta stay down for last, man.
You only gonna pick one dude. You probably
I gotta get back. I got a couple
with LeBron.
It wouldn't be Bron. It wouldn't be Bron.
Only power forwards then. Okay, you got a passing point guard and a ball hogging 2 guard. Okay, let's go.
Yeah. And then for the power forward, man, I'm gonna have to go with Tim Duncan, man. I don't see. Center, I'm going with Wilt Chamberlain.
You got Tim Duncan and Wilt Chamberlain out there. Okay.
Yep. And then as far as the small forward, I'm thinking somebody more like Bernard King was tough.
You gonna go back in the day for your small forward?
Dog, listen, man.
What type of game is you playing? You playing
Bernard
a real
King, dog. Okay,
so I guess you're gonna explain your strategy of how you gonna play the game after this too.
Because we gotta have somebody with some grit. Everybody got some grit. First off,
all y'all slow, except for Mike.
That's all we need.
Except for Mike, y'all.
That's all we need.
You got 2 big men already.
Wilt bench press 500 pounds. This dude was incredible.
Wilt and Tim Duncan are cinder blocks.
Man, Tim Duncan can shoot that mid range, man.
But they can't run.
We talking about class. We talking about prime now, prime time. We talking about that. We talking about Timmy with that leg, with that last couple of years, that leg hanging on. We ain't talking about that.
You said Bernard King is your 3.
Yes, we don't need to get in Mike way.
You're going to Bernard King as your 3-man?
Oh. I don't know if Bernard played. I know he was definitely I know he played 3, but kind of more of a power forward.
He was definitely a power forward, my G.
Okay, let me get more of a perimeter. I'm still stuck in like an Elgin Baylor. I'm still stuck in like kind of that period, bro. Like somebody like that. I know I wouldn't say Dr. J, but somebody that's a little bit more of a specialist. I wouldn't get.
Who is your favorite? You ain't talking about your favorite. You trying to fit. You trying to fit the
out, man.
You supposed to be picking your top 5. These my top 5.
Yeah. Let me go get this 3-man together. I would have to say No, not that one.
He can't get it right because he know you got Jordan, J
Yeah, I'm
Kid,
not going with Prime. I'm not going with Brian though, just because you know what I mean. I'm not going that direction. I just don't. No, I'm not going with that one. You know what I mean.
Jordan,
I think.
J Kid, Wilt, Tim and D,
Yeah, I'm not going with MJ. I mean, with LeBron, man. That's too cliche,
Kevin
man.
Durant.
Nah, I mean he's good. No, I'm trying to really give you something like this genuine, like
Genuine, like Larry Bird,
somebody that I really like.
like Iceman, David
Somebody
Thompson,
you silly. I about to say I about to say Jerome Kersey at this moment. Now
Jerome Kersey at the three,
I would honestly say dog.
Chucky
I ain't
Brown.
gonna lie, man. I would have to settle for Larry Bird because because that would be a like a 3-point. You know what I mean? I would have to settle for him. But talking to you, I'm very, as you can see, very reserved because I know you're smart. Like I remember I remember I was talking to somebody about the Mount Rushmore. Who would be your Mount Rushmore? I know this ain't your question, but I'm asking you. Who would be your Mount Rushmore? 4 faces of basketball that's responsible. Like you're looking from the moon. You're an alien that just hit the earth, and you see these 4 huge faces on the earth that's supposed to communicate what basketball is on this earth. What 4 faces would they be?
Bill Russell,
I agree.
um, Bill Russell, Magic Johnson,
Okay.
Michael Jordan,
They got to be all players now.
Kobe Bryant.
Yeah, that's tough.
Those my
Because
4.
real, yeah,
And they got
because
they got elements. Um, you know, you look at Bill. He started the team. He gave the game essence from its creation. It didn't have any dribbling to it. Bill put championship to sharing and running the floor and blocking shots and doing what you need to do to get the team to win, playing hard as you can, right? So you win that many championships by leading by example. That's just the essence of he the essence of basketball. He the essence of championship. What you do to win, right? Then you got Magic passing that thing, sharing the rock. He's the upgraded essence
I
of
say
what
Dr.
Bill
J.
Russell.
I say Dr. J over Magic.
I'm saying Magic because of his ability to share the game and make it entertaining at the same
Mm.
time. To be able, that's what Showtime was. It was being able to share and
Okay.
still be
Okay.
entertaining and
Okay.
sharing at the same time. So that's still in the essence of the game.
Yeah, I see how you. Yeah, I see where you're going
And
with.
he
Okay.
and he heightened it, right? So then you
Right.
bring in Michael Jordan, who
Yeah, took it
came
to another
in,
level.
who
Right.
took it, came in right after that, but gave it more of an individual essence.
Mm-hmm.
Where now the credit comes to me because I'm taking the game to a whole nother level
Mm-hmm.
by myself. I don't even need the other 4 guys.
Mm.
And so from there, you got to give it to Kobe because Kobe took that and brought it back to essence.
Gotcha. Okay. It's like a passing of the torch.
Yep, and he brought it back to from the individual. He led with it. He started his career with it, but he ended his career on being able to share the rock and be more of a teammate.
I say George Mikan, Dr. J, Naismith, and Bill Russell.
Yeah, old school. That's
So
all essence. That's essence.
I was looking, yeah, all essence, and that's the yeah. George Mikan, I was looking into him like into his situation. This dude, they had to make the court bigger because of him.
Mm-hmm.
Like like
He was
they
a
had to put,
monster. He was a monster.
yeah, yeah, he was, and of course, Bill's who he is. I just felt like with Dr. J, what he did with integrating just the whole dunking, like the whole acrobatic, the athletic, just them all them niggas that just came into the league from the ABA. Like he was he was the one that ushered him in. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because like you said, Bill was already there establishing the whole championship thing. But like then all of a sudden, here comes all these like Icemans and all these like superheroes seem like, and then Naismith is who he is. So
Right. Nah,
yeah,
for
that's
sure,
interesting
bro.
though. Yeah, but now I had to settle on Bird for that third one, man, because like we do need some 3-point shoot. But that's and I say anything to anybody else. But I want to give you a real accurate 5. That's probably as accurate as I can get you now.
Yeah. I mean, it ain't like your 5 will get demolished by mine, so we not even gonna put
Who
that
you
in
got?
the
Who's your 5?
context. It ain't even gonna put that in the conversation. We
And
can go to the
please.
next question. Look, we just gonna go to the next question. Look, so
All right.
what team is gonna win it all this year?
I've always been a Laker fan. So I've always been a Laker fan. I mean, even from Kobe, all of Kobe's years, man. I mean, I'm focused on them, and I just feel like the offense is really strange to me because you got a bunch of like superstars, but
So
come on,
it's
guys.
really painful for you right now watching.
It's painful because you're going against the whole, like you said, with
So
the
can you
keyword with the
explain? Can you break down like what's really?
the
Because as a
keyword.
fan, there's a fan perspective, there's a hooper perspective, and then there's just that truth in between, right? Where if you are a fan and you are a hooper, you know the truth in the middle and what that truth is, and
Right.
why the team's losing and what needs to happen.
Right. Yeah, we know LeBron is the emotional catalyst for every team he's on. And then I just kind of feel like when we got Isaiah for that stint, or when we got him now, it's just like we're trying to pay him some kind of homage, you know what I'm saying? Some kind of tribute or something. That's what it feels like Russ and everybody's doing. Whatever. I just feel like it goes back to the essence of it. You guys aren't playing basketball the way the damn game is supposed to be played. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not even trying to like get into the Knicks and crannies because they're there. There's a lot of I mean, everybody's emotional on that team. Everybody's emotional. It's hard to check all those emotions, man. It's
Are they
crazy.
too
But
old? Is it just because they're emotional
I
because they're too old?
I don't think it's because I just think I think Russ. To be honest, I see LeBron acting more like Russ.
Really?
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like
Like
I'm really
over emotional?
just the mannerisms like after he do something, you know what I'm saying, Nick, you know what I mean, like Nick, like, you know what I mean, like I'm like, man, that's Russ, bro. Like LeBron went on, he don't be on that like that. I feel like emotionally, I don't know if Russ is the emotional catalyst right now, but I see Bron doing more things that Russ be doing sometimes.
Well, look, what is the coaching doing, Cam? Why are we talking about the players and the performance when clearly the system doesn't work and fit these players gelling together like the way they're supposed to be? Sometimes it's the system.
Right. So
Sometimes you can't sit there. Sometimes you can't sit there and blame every individual player and be like, okay, he too old, he too fat, they don't play no defense. Okay, what is the defensive scheme that's going on out there?
Yeah.
Because there is schemes.
Right.
No one player can guard any one player in the NBA. So you can't make that expectation.
Exactly.
And every coach knows that. So what's the scheme? What's the offensive strategy? What's really going on out? Because it don't look like y'all got any of that.
So you're saying it's Vogel?
I'm not saying it's Vogel. I'm saying that accountability goes a long way when LeBron gets on certain teams, right? Every team he's on, the coach gives him a certain leeway. Where if you don't hold your best player accountable for the mistakes that's happening on the floor, it's not going to trickle down.
All right.
Everybody not going to have the same respect for the coach when he calling out certain guys to do certain things when LeBron clearly, or AD or Carmelo clearly is getting blown by, clearly not playing no defense.
Westbrook got dunked on by Tatum because of Melo.
Man, and it's clear, and it's like, man, how do we not hold ourselves accountable? How do we not come into the huddle and be like, yo, what's going on? We not playing no defense tonight? And then without nobody getting really emotional. So that's why I say the older guys are more emotional because they feel like they can't be told nothing. I'm a 10-time All-Star. I don't need to play no defense. Who you talking to? Now,
So
now I'm gonna get traded because I'm telling LeBron he need to get lower on defense, or I'm trying to hold my teammate accountable, but I can't do that because the hierarchy. I'm at the bottom of the totem pole.
you know what, man? And it's a position I've never really been in, and I guess it's because I don't know. It's just a position I've never really been in. I've always asked myself if I was just a guy on the NBA roster, what would I do? If I'm in the league, man, I'm just on the bench. You know what I mean? I'm not bouncing back and forth from the G League. I'm in a situation that one would prefer.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in the league. And I'm not playing. My man John, and then but then once that kind of quenches your thirst, then it's like, but shit, I can't get a few seconds.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like the expectation begins to increase
Mm-hmm.
because you're just in the house or in the
Yep.
room.
In the
And
house, you just in the
yeah.
house.
So my thing is, if I was one of those guys, I always ask myself, like, could you just tolerate just being in the house, King? You got your money, you got your. Could you tolerate that? Rashad, I don't know if I could. I'm still me. I still want to express myself. I still have feelings. I still have emotions. I still
But
and I
you get the
and I can
keys.
articulate them.
You get the keys. You get the keys to all the doors, though, right? Remember, affiliation is everything, right? Right. So look, you get to be seen on TV at the end of the bench with your towel on every Wednesday to Thursday.
That's my son
Every
right there.
every
Mm-hmm.
club you go to, you get to walk straight in.
All right.
You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you get perks. They give you free meals on the side, but you don't never hoop.
It goes
You
back to
don't.
your why, dude. Yeah.
You don't never hoop, bro. So imagine how many of these guys in the league can't wait to get in that position alone, just to be like, I'm good. I'm more than good. I
Right.
get to hang out with LeBron James.
Right.
I'm on the
And I,
team. I sit beside LeBron and play cards with him.
and that's what I'm getting at. Is it a situation where it's simply all about just the experience?
It is.
Uh, I'm talking about just to be on a Laker team right now, like you say. Is it not about winning or
No,
being the best you can be anymore, or is it just about just the experience
it's
of
about
what?
being a Laker. See, it's still. Remember when you say I was a long time Laker fan, just like me, just like me. So when you're a Laker, it means more to be a Laker than it does to be a baller, because those are two different ambitions.
Got you. Or
You know
got
what
you.
I'm saying? Being a baller is like I'm chasing my greatness regardless if I play for the Lakers in my career or not. I'm still trying to be the greatest.
Mm-hmm.
But ooh, what I do to be a Laker? Whoa. Oh
Yeah.
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 Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I'd love to be a like. But anything outside of that, it is what it is. But if I was just that, it's the Laker it means something. It means
Totally.
something.
Totally. 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 Let me ask you this, man, because we talked about this before. Is the Knicks still in a powerful position? Are they still the top of the league in terms of just are they still number one? Because they were for a long time just um money, influence, everything. Are they still in that position? Or did everything go out there
You
with LA?
said you said the Knicks.
The Knicks, right? In the league, it's always the Knicks has always been like the number one NBA team that's competed with the Real Madrids and everything. Even though it's not nowhere near as big, but that's been our team from the NBA that's kind of represented us in the world amongst big organizations. Has that changed, or is it still?
Yeah, it's definitely changed. They definitely fossilized. It's the Golden State Warriors now. 100 million%.
Wow.
Hundred
Okay.
million percent.
Okay.
100 million%. See, because New York ain't had no great representation in years, and simply because Melo underachieved and just didn't deliver, it put New York further back. And Amari was there with them. They had so many different teams and
Yeah,
opportunities.
Stefan's deal, right?
Yeah, and then it just didn't work out. And so when it didn't work out, they went back into rebuilding, and that was just the worst thing that could ever happen to a New York Knicks. Just like the Lakers, when they went into rebuilding, it was karma. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? I called it Kobe karma.
Oh, we.
Y'all get the Kobe karma, it's gonna go downhill every single time. and that COVID thing happened. That was. Don't get me started on why they got that championship.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, we'll take them how. Hey, we'll take it how it comes, though. You
You
know what
know
I
what I'm
mean?
saying? But that's just how it go when it comes to who gonna win. What it's the Warriors that's just taking over, and so
Yeah,
the
yeah, not yeah.
Knicks.
The Warriors is definitely strong right now for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, the Knicks
right.
ain't got a chance, man. Even if they make it to the playoffs and make a run, they got a lot of rebuilding to do. They got a lot of winning to do. Actually, they got a lot of winning. That's why teams like Golden State and Utah starting to come back around and giving a little bit more shiny to their wins.
Mm-hmm.
But who you got? Who you got winning it all?
I think when it comes down to it, I gotta I saw Chicago and Milwaukee play. That was one of the most entertaining games I've seen in a while. This a few weeks ago. That shit was fun. You know, and I was talking about Chicago with some homies of mine before the season, just about that 3-man nucleus they have with Ball, DeRozan, and the light skinned fellow who can jump. What's his name? Levine.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was just an interesting nucleus. But I got to look back at Milwaukee. But man, the Lakers, man, I'm focused on them, man. I just feel like in a 7-game situation, man, I just it's just hard to believe that we can't figure it out, especially with LeBron. I'm not the biggest LeBron fan. I'm more of a fan on what he represents for the young black male in the world is just trying to express. You know, I try to put a positive spin on his representation in my mind. But as a player, I must say he is efficient. He doesn't make many mistakes offensively. Yes, defensively, yeah, man, he be making bad rotation stuff, man. He always be frowning at his players, talking about his damn LeBron. We saw that, man. That's all you know. Come on, man. But you know, I do trust him with the ball in his hands. You know, I we go to AD, fuck up, get a ball, LeBron, something successful. You know, so I don't know, man.
We gotta talk basketball though, Cam. Those are hypotheticals to me. But when I put you in
yeah,
this box and I put you in this box in this half court offense during playoff time, and I'm like, all right, we're shutting off all of this pick and roll, all of this pick and pop.
we still got to deal with LeBron with the ball in his hands, man. You still have to deal with that
We're
guy.
gonna get rid of this pick and roll. We're gonna get rid of this pick and pop. So if we're talking that means we're double teaming with a full rotation. We're gonna play and depend on weak side basketball. That's playoff basketball.
Yeah.
Double especially if you got the one player that's powerful with the ball. We're doubling full rotation, playing on the weak side. Wayne Ellington, Malik Monk, whoever's gonna be in that corner, gotta make the play.
Right.
Full rotation,
So
right?
should we keep Isaiah? It sounds like we need to keep him.
Right, but regardless, if you're going to put LeBron in a facilitator role, we're taking the ball out of his hands and we're making your bench play. Now,
Right.
is the bench used to doing that? We're putting y'all in an uncomfortable element where you can't really adjust.
But now you saying we got a bunch of old players. Yeah, we got some vets now. Yeah, we
No,
got
for
Melo on that
sure,
outside.
for sure. And those vets got to be comfortable, really thriving in those positions. And look, it's about experience at that point in the playoffs. You got maybe two of them, Melo and who you talk about, the defensive player,
Yeah, Westbrook, Melo,
Trevor Ariza, Trevor
he's
and
back. Okay.
and him. I mean, those are the two. So when you look at that, I look at playoff basketball, half court. What we doing with our schemes? This is how we're gonna stop these guys. This is how we're gonna stop these guys. LeBron, he ain't. If he want to play point, he want them to lose. Get the ball out his hand. No, he plays off the ball.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That means you're gonna have to bring Westbrook in. You got to stop him from wanting to shoot. We're gonna let Westbrook fumble the ball.
As long as we stay in the game, we got to stay in that game. I think King James can bring us through. You know, that's the only tactic that I see that can, because we have no strategy.
That's what I'm
We have
saying. That's the
that's
point.
all
If
we
you don't
banking
got
on, man.
if you're depending on him with no
That's all we
real
doing, man.
with no real bench, right? No real bench. And we're not talking age and none of that. We're just talking LeBron. We just
Right.
talking history of LeBron. What we know, he needs somebody that he can depend on. He cannot depend on Anthony Davis.
Yeah, he ain't got nobody right now. Yeah, he ain't got no bad.
And
Ain't no
who is
rival.
you can't say Westbrook is like Kyrie to him. You can't say Westbrook is like D Wade to him.
Nah, not at all. Not at
And
all.
that's the tragedy of LeBron trying to formulate this team like an all-star team instead of trying to really assimilate a real playoff team. He should have picked a bunch of utility guys who were built for playoff plays. Instead, he wanted to go get a bunch of friends that he knew he could save and try to bring in and be Hollywood.
Yeah, yeah, he did do that. I will say this though, because I'm a Westbrook fan, dude. I am. And I gotta say, I gotta admit, Westbrook, if we really can sit down and analyze the past 5 seasons, you know what I'm saying? You haven't, you know, well, we gotta do something. Yes, we're in the records with Will Chamberlain. Yeah, but damn, bro, you're a guard. I mean, that's pretty rare, it's pretty unique, but we gotta win something, Russ. First of all, second of all, your game has to adjust. You just don't get like you you have to. That's one thing about Vince Carter. There's a lot of guys, man. These guys worked on their game. You know what I'm saying? They got better at stuff. They're just the catch and shoot three. Every year they came back better. I don't need you to come back bigger and stronger, Russ. You're just 6'3".
Right.
And you're a point guard at that. It'd be different if he was an off guard catching and ripping. You know what I'm saying? One dribble put. It ain't that. He got the ball in his hand. Just it's like, bro, he's just an athlete. You know what I mean? Just an athlete, dog. Like,
I
work
don't
on your
think it's that.
game.
I don't think it's that, Cam.
What I'm saying is I'm disappointed in Russ at his lack of being able to get better. His shot, his percentages ain't gotten better. He just ain't got. He hasn't grown as a player like I would have expected him to.
Well,
Me
look, this is
personally.
what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying with context to that. Russ got away with doing things that guys in the league started to allow people to do. That's when if we talk about that lack of defense for that period of time in the NBA where you started to see like, man, they ain't even playing defense no more. Like, you know how it's just supposed to come down the lane like that every single time.
You're right.
Nobody's fouling nobody. Like, this is the things. So Russ was playing a certain type of way that established himself in the league. And once he established himself to play that certain type of way and no one's stepping in front of him, no one's stopping him from playing this type of way, that's an easy type of way if that's how you were brought up to play.
Right.
From the hood, from the streets, in the playground, rec center, I just get the ball, I go coast to coast and dunk it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't got to stop. And then if anybody in front of me, I just stop at the free throw line, stop and pop.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only two things Russ had in his game for the first 6-7 years and being in the league. He never had to adjust his game. And then when it was time to, and everybody was like, look, we got to get in front of Russ. We got to stop him from going coast to coast. We got to make him play playoff basketball, half court, and we got to make him shoot that shot.
Mm-hmm.
All of a sudden, he got to work on his game now. His lifestyle wasn't set up to go in there and work on his game like that.
No, you're absolutely right with that. But what I'm saying is this: it gets to a point, man. In any craft, what makes you a professional? You do enough of anything. You know what I'm saying? You just grow, you evolve. And my thing is with that stop and pop, you can get a stop and pop, Russ, at any given time. He's taking stops and pops now, but he's not making them. You know what I'm saying? Like
He don't want to make them,
it's
Cam. When you a
weird. You know what I'm
shooter,
saying?
when you have a certain focus as a hooper and you want to make shots, it's second nature to make them shots because you know they supposed to go in. These is butter. These are butter. But when you out here shooting just to shoot them because you open, you know as a hooper, you know in certain guys when they playing, you like, man, he just shooting because he open. He not shooting because he know he can make that shot.
So
He
he ain't
shooting
got no
because
confidence.
he got to shoot that shot. It's wide open. Eric Snow. And Eric Snow was the guy that never took that shot even though he was wide open.
Oh, so
Andre
you trying to
Andre
tell
Miller.
me
I,
Westbrook is a more athletic Eric Snow? Is that
yeah,
what you
or
telling
more
me?
athletic Andre Miller.
Oh wow.
You know what I'm saying? Or Jamal Tinsley.
Mm,
You know what I'm saying? But he ain't had that boop 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 that Jamal had. But when you talk about
right.
just even he ain't had the smarts that Andre Miller had. You know what I'm saying? But you just talk about a guy who can go down and just athletically bully you from coast to coast, and that's what guys like Ray. Ray hated Westbrook because Westbrook was an in your face coast to coast bully, and Ray
Mm-hmm.
didn't like to play against guys that went coast to coast like he did.
Right.
He
I
couldn't hit.
imagine Westbrook is fast, man. I never got on the court with him, but I imagine the dude's fast now. I
But it's
mean, I
like
don't know.
coming at you full speed. It ain't even about him being fast. It's like the Gilbert Arenas effect. That's how
Mm,
Gilbert was. It was so hard to guard Gilbert Arenas because he's coming at you and he got a handle, he got a shot, and he got hops. He know how to get to the free throw line.
mm.
He's a
It's a lot.
nightmare.
Mm.
Nightmare. So Westbrook looked like a nightmare to a bunch of guys who don't know how to play defense. And that be the thing with all these guys that's playing now. I'm biased to how their success has been given to them thus far because the defense,
Totally.
the
Totally.
defense
There
that has
is none.
played. It's like, man, if we can play
Right.
D on y'all like we played D on Kobe Bryant, the way we had to play D on Kobe when I was in the league, if we can
Mm-hmm.
play D like that on these dudes today, it would
Mm,
let me know who the best.
mm,
It would
mm.
let me that would let me know because what we had to do against Kobe, the schemes we had to put against this dude, we went through three different zone defense, legal defense, 2-9, you know what I'm saying, boxing ones.
So Kobe's like you know for a fact that Kobe's that guy.
Man, listen, and nobody did what he did as far as number 24, and being able to play in three different eras of basketball and dominate in all three different eras and three different defensive errors. We're talking about, and he came out of high school at that. So it's a dynamic when you talk about the skill set, the IQ level. We talk about real basketball, defense. You talk about these guys today. James Harden. You mean to tell me
I'm so disappointed in James
Come
right now.
on,
What's going
man.
on with him? What's
Come
going on
on.
with him, dog?
Utah devised a scheme where they stopped him from shooting a three by standing behind him and forcing him to shoot a runner in the lane. And James Harden literally could not adjust his game to just go in there and dunk it.
Come on, that's where he's at right now.
To me that let me know about the skill level of these guys. It's like, oh man, they giving you guys praise. Y'all breaking all these records because y'all scoring. Because the defense ain't got no ski. They don't know how to defend it.
Mm.
It ain't that it's undefendable or unguardable. It's they have no clue on what they're
Mm.
doing. No one's teaching them. Like, look, this is what you got to do.
So you saying this is at the NBA level?
This is the NBA level. Have no idea about basic defensive instincts and skills.
That's you know, in my little experience in Miami and Phoenix, I remember Miami. I was really impressed with their attention to detail, but I'm surprised to hear that, dog. That's a letdown. Yeah, that's a letdown right there.
If you watching, you can see that none of these guys will be able to come off and continue to do 10, 12, 11 3-point nights where there's 3-pointers a game, right? And you're coming off pick and rolls and doing this. How many games have you seen where guys come off a pick and roll and the bigs are sitting in the middle of the paint with a 3-point shooter?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like that's typical scouting report. We watched this for 3-4 years. Golden State was winning. Screen, rescreen. Stay on it. Double him till he passes it. Draymond Green's got to have 30 points, 20 rebounds, and 10 assists every game for them to win. What's the odds of that?
Right.
I'm banking my money on that. I can't allow Steph to come out and do anything other than that. That's what we did against AI.
Mm. Mm. So
Why
you
we not
saying
doing? Why we not doing it against Steph? We want AI to not have a hot night. We doubling this man all night.
mm, mm.
But that's neither here nor there, man. But look, I want to tell you this, Cam. I appreciate you coming on the show, man, because this is part one, part two.
Oh boy.
This is one of them things where we talk all day, all night, especially about sports and about the game and how the game go. But for the audience listening, we finishing up part two right now. This is finishing up part two, and I want to thank Cam for coming on, man, and really sharing his testimony and sharing his journey, being able to really unpack what the process is about, and who he is, man, as a man, as a legend, as somebody that I consider a good friend, and I appreciate you coming on, brother. And
we all look, we gotta cut you out. We all, bro. I don't know if you heard it enough. I don't know if you hear that. We all appreciate you, what you've done in your career. You've served as an inspiration. You've gave a lot of guys nightmares. You know what I'm saying? You have put it down, and you've taken it to heights and to levels that unimaginable. You know what I'm saying? And I'm thankful to know you. I'm thankful to have memories with you, on court memories with you, and we building something off the court with what we're doing creatively. I really appreciate it, man. If you ain't heard it enough, we love you in the basketball community. We need more of this of what you're doing. We need more of this kind of energy, man. This is awesome with this podcast, man. And I appreciate you having me on.
My man, my people. And y'all heard it again. Cam Bennerman, North Carolina State alumni. North Carolina alumni. The state of North Carolina. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, you better get that right.
The state of North Carolina. You know what I'm saying? And, this is the Transition Podcast, Man to God, and I'm your host, Rashad McCants. Thank you again for tuning in. Until next time.